Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the basic fishing mod, which is being made by user Zorkaz. And this is yet another of the glorious different profession mods being added in by Zorkaz, and this one I like in particular because it adds in fishing into Fallout 4, and I, in real life, really enjoy fishing and go whenever I can, and for some strange reason, I even enjoy doing it in video games. And being able to do so here now in the Commonwealth, and even make your settlers do it for you, as you can see right there, is a pretty wonderful thing, as it just doesn't add something new to do, but a new resource to take advantage of in, of course, the way of fish. So we're actually going to start out today by taking a look at the different fish you can catch. And so let's go to the chemistry station here, where I've popped them all into the aid category of my settlement. And there are currently 5 different fish that you can catch. The first being the red brass, which is kind of radioactive looking. I mean, it is a rad brass after all. And you can consume this thing, but I wouldn't recommend it, as it will do -1 agility, but, you know, also take down -8 rads, so kind of a give or take there. And after the rad brass, we then have the river dolmen. I'm skipping one for now, but I'll come back to it. And the river dolmen, when consumed, will do, again, -1 agility, -8 rads, but then also give you 50 rads, so again, give and take there. More on the take. We then have the swarp fish, which same deal of -1 agility, -8 radiation, and looking a bit more, well, swampy for the swarp, apparently. And then the tigerel, once more with -1 agility and -8 rads. So as you can tell, most of the fish do pretty much the same thing, and they're not the most useful of objects in the world, but it's what you can do with the fish which really helps them shine. That being said, though, there is one fish which is amazing, and that's the one I skipped earlier, the rainbow carp. Now, this one, besides looking very psychedelic, when consumed will give you 3 luck, and that's awesome. But of course, this fish is extraordinarily rare for you to actually catch. So it's going to be one of those 1 in a million sorts of things. Now, I don't know if that's the actual number of how rare it is, but yeah, you know what I mean. Now, here's another thing about these fish. They're only catchable in certain areas. And I should mention this now, that you can only fish in certain areas. You can't just go anywhere in the world and drop your rod and reel. You actually have to be in, of course, one of your settlements, as it does require a fishing chair to sit at, and you can only actually catch things in Taffington Boathouse, Kingsport Lighthouse, Nordhagen Beach, Egret Tours Marina, Warwick Homestead, Finch Farm, Merkwater Construction Site, The Castle, Spectacle Island, and Sanctuary. And those are the only places, at least for now. Hopefully that list will grow maybe in the future, I don't know. But for now, those are the only places you can actually catch fish. And only certain fish are catchable in certain places. So you will have to set up little fishing establishments all around the world for you to catch all the different things. Now let's talk about the actual fishing itself for a moment. As you can see with my settler here, he is sitting at what is a fishing chair. And you build one of these by going into the workshop mode, then over to resources and to miscellaneous, and the fishing chair is made with 5 wood, 3 steel, and 1 looted fishing rod. Now it will produce 2 food for your settlement when you've put a settler on it, but you can also sit at it yourself and just kinda chill for a while, and eventually you will catch a fish. It isn't interactive in any way, shape, or form. You literally just sit in the chair and wait. And eventually it'll say up in the corner that, oh, hey, you caught a fish, woo! And that is about it. Now, you can actually place multiples down in the world, and the person you've assigned will actually go between multiple chairs, just like they go between multiple crops. And it's kind of an oddity because when he does go to a different chair, you get a sound effect of him casting every time. Actually, oh, yep, this is what I was hoping for, that he would get up and move to the next one. And yeah, so we'll get a sound here to play in a second once he sits. There it is. And so that happens every time he switches seats. And that can actually get kind of annoying because it is kind of a loud sound, and you can hear it anywhere in Sanctuary. You actually have to go pretty far away before you don't hear that anymore, which is awkward. That's why I only had one seat built before, because, well, I didn't like him moving back and forth between the two, because it is kind of weird and annoying. But you will also make that sound when you yourself sit down, so let's just use the chair here. So we get the reel sound, and every so often you'll hear a splash, you'll hear a little reel in, and yeah, you just kind of sit here and wait for a fish to be caught. And yeah, that's it. Oh, wow, we actually caught one really quick, a river dolmen. There we go. Now with our lovely fresh catch, if we just hit E to exit, we can actually do stuff with this fish. So let's go over back to the chemistry station, and in the chemistry station, we have one thing we can do. If you go to utility, you can make cooking oil with river dolmen. So you'll get out of 12 river dolmen about 3 oil to get, or use rather. So it does take a fair bit of fish, but hey, it is one use. And since it is a passive gain, you can just kind of keep your settlers fishing and fishing and fishing, and eventually you'll get stuff. Now besides that, we can also go to the cooking station and actually turn the fish into proper food. If we go over here to roast, we will find that we can fry and salt a rainbow fish for an explosion of taste, which will give you a lot of health and take away some rads. We can also fry a rad brass for negative rads and health. We can fry a swamp brass for damage resistance and negative to charisma for some reason. And then we also, if we go down the list, we have, oh boy, where was it? I'm forgetting the name of what it was. There it is, salted and fried fish using the rad brass, which will give you -8 radiation and a 50 HP. Now, we also do have a fish soup, which requires 1 rad brass, 1 swarp fish, 1 tigerel, and some salt. And this will give you 82 health, 25 rad resistance, 25 damage resistance, and again, -3 charisma, because, well, I guess, who likes fishy breath after your fish soup? I guess that's why. That the negative charisma now makes sense to me. But yeah, so those are the different things you can do with the fish. And besides that, you can also just go and sell them to vendors and, you know, go that route. So it is a pretty cool mod. I really do enjoy having this, as it's a new resource with which we can make new foods with, some oil or an alternative way of making oil, and there even are some decorations. For instance, we have this fish rack right here, which you can make. And if we go back into the workshop mode here, in decorations, you'll find this fish rack over in miscellaneous. But we also have in the wall decorations and the mounted creatures. Yeah, boy, if we go all the way to the end, we can actually put mounted fish. So we have a mounted tigerel, a mounted swarpfish, a mounted river dolmen, a mounted rainbow carp, and finally a mounted rad brass. So you can make yourself a nice little collection of fish there, which is pretty cool. So we get not only a new resource, new food, new way of making oil, but some fun new decorations and a new thing for your settlers to do to make themselves useful. So yeah, that is it for the basic fishing mod. If you'd like to check it out, which I would certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description as per usual. But that, my friends, is going to be it for today. I hope you all have enjoyed, and that you do come back for the next episode when we'll be looking at what hopefully is yet another wonderful mod. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one!